everybody, Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle. 'Tis I, Lord Tremendous of the Ogre Cons versus Big Daddy of the Vampire Coven. I'm very excited to play this game and to share it with you because it's my first ever undead opponent. It's my first undead opponent in Ninth Age, which is super exciting. And the fact that it's the Vampire Coven, I feel, is suitable, is suiting. I mean, I really had it was them or Undying Dynasties, so I guess it was a 50-50. But this is my Beast Herd and Orcs and Goblins opponent. He's also got Vampire Coven, as you can tell now. And yeah, this is a very surprising, very exciting game, and I cannot wait to get to it. So I'm going to stop babbling and do just that. Here's my list, and it has changed slightly from the last list, and so I'm going to go over it. So this might take a minute. I still have my Lord working as my general, my great shaman, Kaka Shabadu. He's a level 3 wizard because, honestly, having 3 spells from the Path of Butchery has been enough. I gave him the Heart Ripper. I gave him that so he has magical attacks because I'm woefully low on those in this list. Plus, always hitting on 3s, Lethal Strike, and negative and Armor Piercing 1 is huge. Plus, it's an Iron Fist, so now he's got parry. Give him the Demonic Heart, because duh. The Talisman of Greater Shielding, the Charm of Cursed Icon, and he also is using the Path of Butchery. Now, I gave him the Charm of Cursed Icon, Iron, because I want to deter shooting from artillery weapons at him. So if somebody has a volley gun or something like that, and they see that I have a 5-up ward save against it, maybe it'll deter them from shooting at my bunker unit. Maybe not. I don't know, but it's better than nothing. It's far better than nothing. And I don't have to worry so much about trying to get regen or toughness off on this unit. They have a 5-up against all artillery weapons, so that helps out a ton. Talisman of Greater Shielding, duh, and Path of Butchery. Twofold. One, it's wonderful with the Ogre Cons, and two, every time he gets a spell off, he heals a wound and increases his toughness by 1 for a turn. That is huge. It's almost better than a ward save. So he's got some real durability, because he will end up in combat. I'm sorry, he's in an Ogre list. I need everybody to see combat eventually. So that's the kit for him. Next up, I got my hero choices, because I only need 1 Lord. And I've still got my Khan. And he's still my BSB. I don't think I changed his kit up. Oh, no, I did a little bit. I gave him a great weapon, because, yeah, duh. Mithril Mail and the Gemstone Amulet, because I like the 2-up armor save and the 1 4-up ward save. I had 10 points left over, so I gave him the Skull of Quang Het, just because I think putting him in the big unit of tribesmen, giving them fear and immune to terror will be huge. And I also gave him Rotten Jaw. I took it off of Lord Tremendous, and I put it on him because I think the poison attacks on him would be nice, but once per game, giving all of those attacks in my tribesman unit poison, that could actually win me a game. So I'm trying it out. Next up, I have my Shaman, the Combustor. He's a level 2 wizard with Skull Splitter now, Talisman of Lesser Shielding, and the Path of Fire. He is my anti-chaff, anti-fast caster. He's a backup wizard in case my first one gets killed. He's got the Skull Splitter because that is an amazing magic item. 4 shots that always hit on 4s. At strength 4 armor piercing, it usually wounds really easily. And it's just an amazing 24-inch way of dealing with fast cav and like saber-toothed tigers or what's it called, mad gits, things like that. Having him around to do that is something I think it will be huge in this army, or at least I'm hoping it is. Talisman of Lesser Shielding because he's going to be out on his own. I'm running him by himself. I'm relying on other bigger, scarier threats to deter people from going after him or focusing too much attention on him. And then Path of Fire because it just lends Burning Ramparts is amazing, and I can use Fireball to deal with everything because it can go anywhere from 1d6 to 3d6 flaming attacks. It's huge. And here we have the man, the myth, the legend, the Mammoth Hunter, Lord Tremendous. He's still got an Iron Fist. He still has the Armor of Destiny. He still has his trusty Ogre Crossbow. And I gave him Headhunter because I wanted a way to heal him. He's going to be in a lot of real tough fights, and the ability to heal wounds makes him just that much better. And he's on his trusty Tusker there, and I love this kit. I really do. He's the most dangerous hero in my army. So next up in core, I have 7 tribesmen with banner musician. I had to drop the unit champion just because I needed 10 points. Then this unit has iron fists and heavy armor. So they don't have a magic banner anymore because I'm putting it in the other unit, which is my 5 by tribesmen. This is the bunker unit for my general, my great shaman. They have a banner musician because I just don't want to put a unit champion in there. They have the iron fist heavy armor combo because I love it, and I gave them the banner of discipline so that my general has leadership 9. I mean, that's really the only reason I did that. Having the 2 magic banner combo in the big tribesman unit would be huge, but having leadership 9 and a 12-inch bubble from the character in this unit, from my general in this unit, is huge. And since I played with a great con so long, it's kind of what I'm used to. So I'd hate to rely on leadership 8 for everything, you know. And to wrap up my core choices, I have 4 bruisers, butt naked, still running them as heavy chaff, still running them as on the flanks, and their job is to either soak up attention, because they are really fast and they are really dangerous, or to get into a flank or a rear and cause havoc. And honestly, it's been worth its weight in points and gold so far. Okay, maybe not their weight in gold because they're actually very light, but you know what I'm saying. Don't judge me. My special choices, I start them off with, I'm really starting to enjoy these units, so much so that, well, this is a new unit of Scrappling Trappers. I really like what they do to forests, ruins, and fields, making them dangerous terrain for the game. All they have to do is end their movement in there or start the game in there. Their ability to scout and vanguard is huge, and for 40 points, I've got some badass skirmishers that can throw 2 shots a game, or a turn anyway, and possibly do some damage. If nothing else, they can become speed bumps, and for 40 points, I don't feel bad throwing them away. I love these units. There's a better picture of my second unit of Scrappling Trappers. Those guys were the originals. The other guys, I just screwed up the pictures. But you know what? They're both my favorites, so it doesn't matter. And then with my mercenary veterans, I now have 6. I know the picture only shows 5. I'm an idiot and didn't take a picture of the full unit. But they have Banner Musician, Iron Fist, Lethal Strike still because I really like that. And I gave them Thunderous Charge because now when they get into combat, they're strength 6 on the charge, which I think would translate. No, Thunderous Charge would not translate to their impact hits, so never mind. And I gave them Banner of Speed, so they're movement 7, and they can get into these combats faster, because that's where I need this unit to be in order to be effective. Plus, I just love the way they look. And then, of course, I have my Kin Eater, Elizabeth. And yes, she is the most psychopathic, murderous, just tear you limb from limb unit, individual, whatever you want to call her. She's amazing, and yeah, she definitely deserves her own soundbite, so deal with it. Next up in my rare choices, I have my Scratapult, and lately the Scratapult has not been doing well with the whole shooting thing. It's been misfiring quite often, but the great thing about this thing is that it's still a Strength 5, Toughness 4 Chariot with 7 Strength 3 and like 3 Strength 5 attacks. But normally I'd be furious that my artillery isn't doing anything, but this thing is so versatile for 130 points. Honestly, it might be undercosted. I don't know. I really like this thing because usually, even my opponents are like, oh, so it can't shoot this turn, and then they get too close to it. And it's like, yeah, but it can charge. So no, I like this unit a lot, and although I am a little upset it's not shooting well, I am very happy that it's still performing for me in combat. And here's the model, here's the unit. I was so excited to show everybody. I got it from Mears Miniatures. The mount, the top part is from the MMO that came out, the collector's edition character. I got it on an eBay thing, but I finally got him. Rufus, my Frost Mammoth. I love this model. Oh my gosh. He comes, I took both the riders with Ogre Crossbows because his job is going to be behind my big unit of tribesmen and my Merc vets and just put out that Frost aura. Hopefully he doesn't just get shot off the table, but even if he does, he's just too cool to look at. I love this model. I love the fact that the crazy orc and his little buddy on his shoulder, because there's supposed to be 2 riders. There's 2 riders in there. And yeah, Yeah, I had to give him his own music. I had to give him all the special treatment. I've actually got a buddy of mine 3D printing a base for him so that he looks all heroic and everything. I'm very excited about this model, and I can't wait to show you what he does in this game. But yeah, that's going to do it for my list. Coming up next is my opponent's list. Feel free to pause it at any time to see what he brought. Here are my spells, and they're exactly what you're looking at. And here's deployment. Like I said, I've got my main force, my tribesmen with my BSB, my Merc Vets, and my tribesmen with my general, all pretty much centered in the middle. I had my general's unit kind of behind that forest there because my trappers are in the forest, making it dangerous terrain 1 if you go through it. But with his cav and stuff like that, I think it's DT2 if they go through it, charge, or anything other than normal movement. So I figure even if they do get charged, that's a lot of dangerous terrain checks he'd have to take. And for 40-point tribesmen, it's worth the shot. Meanwhile, yeah, the Frost Mammoth, Rufus, is right behind him to give off that aura because I think that's going to be huge. Just in case, I don't believe what's it called? I wasn't deploying first, so I put my Combustor behind the hill so he couldn't get any crazy shots off on me. I had no idea what this list was capable of at all. I've looked over the army book, but that was as far as it went. I misplaced Lord Tremendous on the right there. I don't know why I put him over there. He doesn't have magical attacks, and his Phantom Host is over there on my right flank. I don't know what I was thinking about there. So the Combustor was going to have to do his work against the Phantom Host big time. And then on the left side there, left flank, I've got my Scratapult on the hill just to start lobbing into the zombies to try to take as many of them out as I could because I knew they were going to be a problem once combat hit. And I have my Bruisers on the left side there, and they were just going to hopefully be able to flank or rear charge something. I had my other unit of Trappers on his left, or his right flank, our left. And their job was just going to be to get over there and just start zotting zombies as quick as they could on that closest unit. Maybe even turn them around, make it so they couldn't do any kind of support. I know they're zombies. I know they're not a huge threat, but as an anvil, they are devastating. And I had, 3 units of 60 and 1 unit of 35 to deal with, plus 2 units of cavalry vampires. Oh, I was in for a fight, and I was looking forward to it. Here's my opponent's right flank, which consists of my unit of trappers. And here's my opponent's center. On the left side there is a unit of zombies. As you can see, they have the shields in front. That's a death, which I think is just awesome. Next to them is another unit of 60 zombies. Next to them is the Vampire Knights, I believe. And his general is in there, and that unit is going to be devastating, and I know it. And here is my opponent's left-ish center. I wanted to get closer pictures, so I took a couple extra. Sue me. On the left side are his horse. I don't know what they are. Some sort of cav, and the BSB and the other hero choices in that unit. They're both in that unit. I can't remember what it was. Some sort of, maybe it's a necromancer, maybe it's another vampire. I can't remember. It was in the list. You just saw it. Next to them is the unit of 35 zombies, and next to them is the unit of 6 phantom hosts. And here's my opponent's left flank, which consists of his final unit of 60 frickin' zombies. Here's my right flank, which consists of Lord Tremendous and the Combustor. And here's my center. From right to left, there's my tribesmen, my BSB. Behind them is Rufus. Next to them in the middle there is my mercenary vets. And next to them is my unit of 5 tribesmen with my great shaman. And here is my left flank, which consists of my Scratapult and my bruisers. And you can kind of see the scrappling trappers in the forest on the top there. Here's top 1 after movement, and there's been some. His Vampire Knights with his general, they don't hesitate. They charge my trappers. And I thought about fleeing, but I was like, you know what, he needs like a 9 or a 10 to hit me. What are the odds? Apparently pretty freaking good because he makes it. I did stand and shoot, and I messed up his shields beautifully. Didn't do any damage. However, the trees were already dangerous terrain 1 to him. With the trappers in there, they were DT2, and he lost 4 Vampire Knights to the forest. So 40-point trappers just took out 4 Vampire Knights on the charge without scoring 1 wound with their stand and shoot reaction. So I was really excited about that. I know my trappers are dead. I'm well aware of that. However, the fact that they just did all that, that's going to make that unit, at the time I believed, that was going to make that unit very, very easy to deal with. His other unit knights move up very aggressively. His zombies and stuff like that move up as fast as they can, and since the general was mostly out of range at this point, they really couldn't march or anything, so they kind of did their zombie thing. The phantoms kind of go up to those little crystals on the right side there, which are impassable terrain per crystal. If you could get in there and keep that 1-inch gap, you were good to go. It's just the way we set it up. And that's really it for movement. There's a better picture of the of his knights running into my trappers, and look, there's only 3 knights left, and his general. Oh man, the forest did good, did real good. Nothing happens in magic or shooting. In his magic phase, I thought he was going to try to raise up with, Path of Necromancy his knights. So I popped my demon heart, my demonic heart. Both his casters were in range, and I'm like, if you're going to raise knights, I'm going to try to put down your characters. So he just skips his magic phase. He got like 9 power dice too, and he goes, how much is that demonic heart worth? I'm like, 25 points. And he goes, okay, magic phase is over. Congratulations. You just wasted your item. And I was like, okay. So we go into combat, and his general kills 4 of my guys, or maybe 5, I can't remember. But he's got that weird red blade thingamabobber or whatever it is, and so yeah, he kills all 4 of the trappers, or all 5 of my trappers, and brings back all of his knights. There's actually 1 knight more than there should be in this picture. We figure it out about a second or 2 after I take this picture. But that sword makes it so that it's like his vampiric rule is a 3-up, and after he heals, I think he's got to soak up 1 of the healed wounds or something like that. But then the rest go into the unit that he's in. So all the damage that the forest did, everything that happened in this combat, he heals because he was able to eat 5 trappers.
Oh.
Blew my mind. We stopped the game. We looked at the rules. It looks like we followed them correctly per the item, because nothing about the magic item or anything like that or the vampiric rule suggests it can't go to the unit or that it's only 1 or anything like that. We think we did this right. At first I thought maybe that sword was broken, seemed a little powerful. But at the same time, after thinking about it for a little bit, I don't think so at all. I think it's maybe a little undercosted, but I mean, it's really only useful for a unit like this, like the Knights or something like that, because he was in a unit of skeletons or whatever, who the hell would care? But in this situation, I could totally see how it was, useful like that. And holy crap, the unit is back to full strength. Actually, +1, but we get rid of that in a second. And now I've got my work cut out for me again, so panic mode ensues. So like I said, here's bottom of 1 after movement, and I panicked. Kaka Shabadu left his unit of 5 tribesmen, and then the 5 tribesmen moved up right in front of the knights. I figure if he charges me, he's still taking DT2s, so that should help. And at least I can make them shoot down this alley, and maybe the rest of my guys can deal with him on the flank or the rear or whatever. If he overruns, if he pursues. I was terrified. I was hoping to get maybe a spell or 2 off to buff that unit because I knew they were going to get charged. But panic mode. My Merc Vets charge his unit of knights. I'm thinking strength 6, lethal attack, 20-something attacks. I should be able to do pretty well against them. And I fail my charge. So I'm like, oh crap! And I not only do I fail my charge, but the highest die is a 6, so I move 6 inches towards them, which means it's insta charge next turn. I got nothing to throw in their way I want to sacrifice, so I'm like, man, I hope my Merc Vets can handle this. I move the Frost Mammoth back a little bit to charge. I'm hoping charge the flank of the Vampire Knights next turn, and do the 6-inch aura against his knights, against my Merc Vets, to maybe save them. I really didn't know. I had very few spells and like 2 units that desperately needed them. My Scratapult moves slightly so that he can possibly countercharge the knights next turn because I know my tribesmen are in trouble. And I bring the bruisers around because they've got to try to charge into these knights in the flank. I'm terrified. I'm absolutely terrified. Lord Tremendous comes flying back over into the center there in order to just try to countercharge the knights because I know it's coming. And the Combustor just moves up onto the hill to start firing off at the Phantom Host because I don't want those units getting to my guys with non-magical attacks. They will eat me alive and I won't be able to do anything to them. So that's the way the game's going. During the magic phase, the Combustor takes and fires off a fireball. I think it was a 2d6 fireball at the Phantom guys. And I don't roll great for the amount of hits. I think it was only like 6. But I am able to do 4 wounds, killing one of the bases. So that's a good start. Then during the shooting phase, my trappers throw some scrap metal at the zombies and actually dropped 3 of them. I was very impressed. So in a desperation shot, I fire my Scratapult at the big unit of knights with his BSB and his other little vampire guy in there. And it not only would it have scattered, but it goes, I roll a 6, so I misfire. Couldn't believe it. This is like the 4th time in a row this guy's done that. And like I said, I'm frustrated with his shooting right now, but at the same time, he's still a chariot. He's still super dangerous in combat, and I like that people forget that, including myself. But yeah, it's still frustrating when this happens. And I end up misfiring 5, which means he can't shoot and takes a wound for his trouble. So at least he's paying for his incompetence, but I'm still like in love with the unit and the idea because he's still a chariot, he's still strength 5, he could still do some damage in combat, and I have a feeling I'm going to need him in combat very, very soon. So in the shooting phase, the Combustor uses the Skull Splitter on the Phantom Host and does 2 more wounds to him, and that's friggin' excellent. And that's it, because I can't make my charges. So we go over to the top of 2 after movement, and he makes his. His Vampire Knights with his General Slam into my Tribesmen, no problem. I think just 1 guy eats it due to dangerous terrain. Not as good as the first time, but a quarter as good, I think. And then his other unit of knights with his BSB and the Vampire guy slam into my Merc Vets. Just devastating. I felt that one in my soul when he made it. Other than that, though, his zombies move up as fast as they can, but they really can't march because his general's out of range. The one turns to face my trappers on the left flank there, and that's fine. I'm going to move out of the way, no problem. His Phantom Host try to move around the impassable terrain. The problem was they can't march currently, and he couldn't get an inch away from the impassable terrain to get closer to me, so he's kind of trying to shift around, but the zombies are blocking away. It's a traffic jam. And so all the zombies and the Phantom Hosts are in the back, the knights and the characters are in the front, so I'm about to get tabled by 2 units out of like 7. God damn it. There's a better picture of his big Vampire Knight brick slamming into my Tribesmen, and this was a sacrificial unit. Unfortunately, as you can see, we did figure out that 1 knight shouldn't have been there. We got rid of him, and then only 1 fails a dangerous terrain check and dies. So that's more than enough to take out my Tribesmen, unfortunately. And there's a better picture of my Merc Vets catching this charge in the face, which, again, they kind of deserve for failing that damn charge earlier. But, you know, the Frost Mammoth is behind them. He is in range, so their initiative is -3. I'm really, really hoping that that's enough and that the Merc Vets can land enough damage on this unit to make them more impotent than anything else. During the magic phase, I use most of my dice to stop whatever the equivalent of Curse of Years is now, and then he's able to raise up the 1 knight that died to dangerous terrain, and that's just what you get for playing with Necrophiliacs. And then we go into combat, and my tribesmen are able to kill 1 knight. In return, he's able to do 3, 6, 7, 8 wounds to my unit. So 8 wounds plus a charge plus a banner to my 1 wound and a banner. I lose by 8, which means I need a 1 to stay. I'm sorry, that's not true. I need a 0 to stay, and last I checked, zeros weren't on 2d6, so I break. And we break, and we get ran down. Ran down like sheep. Oh, man. I knew that would probably happen. I did, but it still hurt my heart when it did, and that's where they end up. However, he pursued me through DT2 forests, so he takes all the dangerous terrain checks, and 2 more guys in his unit eat crow and die again. So, that's great. Now there's only 4 guys as opposed to the 7 or something like that I was dealing with before. So it's manageable, and my Scratapult and my Bruisers are in position to flank charge him. So doing 3 wounds at strength 5 and 6 to these knights isn't impossible. It's not easy by any stretch of the word, but it's hope, and I could really use some because I'm getting my teeth kicked down my throat right now. So we go over to this combat, and I gotta be honest with you, this was a damn good fight on both sides. I do lose 2 of my Merc Vets. I take 7 wounds total, but with the Frost Mammoth, I was able to take out, I think, 4 of his knights, 3 or 4 of his knights, which was quite good before they could even attack me. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have even gotten that many off. But it was a really good combat with really good rolls on both sides. However, in the end, he does 7 wounds, charge, and 2 banners to my 3 or 4 wounds, and a banner. I lose by 6. I think I needed a 3 or a 4 to stay with a reroll, and I break. And the worst possible situation occurs. Not only do they catch my Merc Vets and run them down, they slam into Rufus. Oh no! I was so upset. Not only that, but my tribesmen with my BSB don't have line of sight to him at all anymore. I can't even countercharge. I've got nothing. Nothing. Oh no! I'm literally about to be tabled by 2 units. It's devastating to my pride. So we go over here to bottom of 2 after movement, and I'm crushed. I know I've lost this game. In my heart, I know I've lost this game. But unfortunately, my heart doesn't communicate well with my brain, and so I keep on fighting, because there ain't no quitting Lord Tremendous, damn it. So my Scratapult and my Bruisers charge into the flank of that damn Vampire Knight unit. I figure I might not be able to win this combat. I might not be able to do everything, but maybe I can take out the unit. Maybe I can hold them up there. Maybe I can make a good showing, because I got to do a battle report on this. People are going to judge. My Great Shaman gets the hell out of the way. By the way, last turn they all passed their panic checks, just in case you were wondering. My Great Shaman does back away from everything because I don't want him going into combat solo. Just seems like a really bad idea. My tribesmen with my BSB take a chance, and they reform to face that unit of knights because I figure my Frost Mammoth is dead. Poor Rufus. And I'm going to countercharge them next turn. Same thing with Lord Tremendous. He moves up to go after him. I try to keep him within 7 inches away from the Frost Mammoth so that he doesn't have to take a panic, because wouldn't that figure? My Combustor stays up where he's at because he's going to keep on just pummeling the what's it called? The Phantom Hosts, so they can't come over and just destroy me because I don't have a whole lot of magical attacks. Elizabeth comes on the table because she can hear me wailing and lamenting from across the world. And my Trappers move onto the hill to continue to harass the zombies because it's all they've got. There's a better picture of my Bruisers and my Scratapult slamming into the flank of this unit, and I'm just hoping against hope here. During the magic phase, he pretty much shuts it down. I'm able to slip Blizzard through from Rufus onto this unit of knights. -1 to hit me, -1 leadership. That's pretty big, all things considered, and I'm hoping that it's just enough to keep Rufus alive. Ever seen a drowning man grabbing at straws? Because you're watching one right now. During the shooting phase, the Combustor is able to slip 2 more wounds through on the Phantom Host with his Skull Splitter and kills another base, which is excellent. And we go into combat, and oh my god, flank charges are the best. I slam into this unit, right? I'm able to kill the unit. My Bruisers were amazing. I wasn't able to do anything with the impact hits. The 2 strength 4 impact hits, and I think it was 3 strength 5, bounced right off the unit's armor. But the Bruisers were able to kill all 3 of them because I got all their attacks. You know, being 2x2, I was able to get him in there with the Scratapult. He does 1 wound to me, and that's it. So flank, charge, 3 wounds. He's got the BSB nearby, and I think he did a wound, so he takes 3 wounds or something like that. 3 or 4. I think maybe I had to heal. I can't remember. But bottom line is his general takes all the wounds because he's the only one left. He crumbles, and it's enough to frickin' kill him. I killed his mother effing general. With a Hail Mary, full of grace, charge. Could not believe it. I have hope now. There's a chance. There's a slight chance. And oh my god, I love these guys so much right now. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you think that was it? No! It gets better because I charge and I get to overrun. And my crazy... I think I get to overrun. I'm pretty sure that the unstable, the crumble check thing after that, I get to overrun. I'm going to say I get to overrun because I did. And they slam into this unit that Rufus is in combat with before the combat happens. Rufus might survive. And not only that, but I got the flank and I got the rear. Oh my god. 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 So yeah. This went from a complete and total rout to I have a chance to actually make myself look good. I'm still pretty sure I'm going to lose, but there's a chance that I'm not going to lose by a total, slaughter. Super excited about this. So we go into this combat, and it's as brutal as you think it is. The -3 leadership lets me go with everybody except for the woolly mammoth that's pulling the Scratapult, and of course my great weapon guys. I think everybody else goes first. Not 100% on that, but the Rufus takes 5 wounds. He's still alive. Just barely, but he's still alive. I think my Scratapult is fine. I don't think I take any damage to my bruisers. I think he was just trying to kill Rufus, which wasn't a bad idea. And I'm able to kill, all but 2 of his unit. His Necromancer, I'm sorry, his Vampire and his BSB are both still alive, and they're fine. But in the end, I'm not 100%, but I think I win this combat. Not that it really matters. I think I win by 1, and his BSB negates it. But it went from a total slaughter of Rufus to an actual I won the combat by 1. Like I said, it was negated by his BSB. I know that, but holy crap! I'm like trying to keep it under control during the game because I was like, if I freak out now and get comfortable, I'm gonna lose. So so cool. Well, since his general died at the end of the phase, I think he takes a bunch of crumble checks. So we started off with his zombie unit. The one on the right flank, I believe, loses 5 zombies. The Phantom Host loses 2 full bases because I think he rolled boxcars for them. The smaller unit of zombies only loses a couple because I think he rolls a 4. The centermost unit of zombies loses 3 guys, and the leftmost unit loses, I think, 4. So not a ton, but significant, and it's not going to happen next turn because he's still got his BSB and another Vampire of the Laura Necromancy or whatever it is. So they should be able to, as long as he's got those characters up and running, he shouldn't have to take any more crumble checks, but that was huge and has totally changed the tempo of this game. Couldn't be happier with my army. So we go over here to top of 3 after movement, and there's just a little bit. His zombies, they still can't march. They're too far away from his general, and his general's dead. So I think he's really kind of screwed there. So everything comes around as fast as it can, which I think is movement 3. The fastest thing that can move is the Phantom Host, and they're screwed because of the traffic jam from before, and the Combustor's just looking at them. Everything else is exactly where you see it. So we go straight into combat because I'm able to stop his magic phase, no problem. And it's actually pretty brutal. I'm only able to kill 1 of his, what's it called? Whatever they are, the Cav guys. I get rid of his banner, which is huge. However, he's got enough damage going through. He's able to kill 1 of my bruisers, and he's able to finish off Rufus, which really, really sucks. But I lose this combat by... gosh, I can't even remember, 1 or 2, and thanks to the BSB, everybody stays in place, so I'm still in this fight. So, smelling blood in the water, we go over here to the bottom of 3 after movement, and everything that can charges in. Lord Tremendous charges in and makes it. My BSB with my tribesmen make it. And then Elizabeth up top there, she charges into the rear of the zombie unit because why the hell not, right? The trappers are steadily shooting at the zombie unit on the left flank there. They're not doing a ton, but little by little, maybe they'll be able to get me half points if I'm lucky. Elizabeth, she needs to get into combat somewhere, and the only one that she's got is that zombie unit, and it's the closest and most dangerous to the rest of my guys, depending on how long I end up in this combat. So she's going to hold them there until they kill her, and at Strength 3, I'm not feeling like they're going to be able to do that anytime soon. My Great Shaman stays right where she's at, so she can try to start buffing the units in combat with his 2 vampires and 1 remaining cav, and the Combustor stays on the hill on the right side there to try to finish off the Phantom Host before they get a hold of him. So that's it for my movement phase. There's a better picture of basically everything I have left in my army attacking 1 unit, 2 characters and 1 cav guy from the vampire unit. That's how dangerous they are to me at this point. And there's a better picture of Elizabeth running into what she would consider heaven. During the magic phase, the Combustor is able to get another fireball off on the Phantom Host and doing popping a base and leaving a wound on the 1 remaining base, and this has just been huge. Thank God I brought the Combustor. Then I'm able to get Entrail Gorger off on my Tribesmen, which will make them even more devastating in this combat, considering now also my BSB is going to be Strength 8, which... God, I hope it's enough. In the shooting phase, my trappers are able to shoot into the death unit of zombies, and I think they kill off 2 or 3 more, which I'll nickel and dime all day. I don't care. And then over here, the Combustor uses the Skull Splitter and puts 2 more wounds through on the Phantom Hosts. They've got 1 left, and I'm feeling pretty confident I can take care of them if they were to get into combat. We go into combat, and I choose to do this one first because I wanted to build up my confidence before I rolled for the other one. And she's able to destroy a whole bunch of zombies. She loses this combat, actually, or wins it. I can't remember. But as you can see, just a handful of them die, and the unit is more than fine. But they're staying put, and that's what's important. And my opponent does try to turn and face her, but at Leadership 2, it does not happen. And so we go into combat over here, and my Tribesmen and my BSB throw all their attacks at that little vampire caster guy, and we're able... The BSB is actually when it ends up killing him, which is awesome. I do pop Rotten Jaw, and that helps a ton. I was very pleased with myself for that. His BSB issues a challenge, and Lord Tremendous accepts, and they just beat the crap out of each other, but nothing happens. I think his unit attacks the bruisers behind him and is able to slip another wound or 2 through. I'm not 100% on that. And then the bruisers in return are able to kill the last guy in the unit, and I win this combat by enough to pop the BSB. So the unit is wiped out. We actually pulled it off. It took my entire remnants of my army to do it, but we pull it out. We reform as so, which is as close as I could get everything without, cheating or anything like that. And yeah, we turn to look at the zombies and just, it's like, okay, we just went from pretty much getting tabled to cleanup duty. Was so pleased. I can't even begin to tell you how shocked we both were at the fact that this battle just 180'd like this. So all of his characters are dead now, right? So it's the end of the phase, or it's the end of the turn, and he's got to take more crumble checks. So we start off with the unit that Elizabeth is fighting, and I think 4 or 5 more guys die. Maybe 3. 3 more guys die. Over here with the smaller unit of zombies, 7 more eat it. The right unit over here, I think 5 more die. And then, of course, the Phantom Host just finally dies. He only had 1 wound left on that base anyway, and he's able to, he crumbles it, the final wound, and the unit is destroyed, which, talk about a weight off my shoulders. And then over here, the leftmost zombie unit, I think 4 or 5 more crumble, which is just outstanding. So after all the crumble checks were done at the end of bottom of 3 there, we go over here to top of 4. He's got to do it all over again because there's no casters in the beginning of his turn to keep the unit together, so he's got to take another round of crumble checks. So we go with the unit that Lezadeth is in first, and 6 more die here. I think like 8 or 9 die in the small unit of zombies. 4 or 5 more die in the right flank brick of zombies. And that's it. At this point, my opponent just calls it. He's like, you beat me, you've won. I don't want to do this anymore. I surrender. And I totally understand that. Oh my god, can you frickin' believe it? I'm doing the report. I lived the game, and I'm having trouble believing that it happened. Just absolute insanity. The fact that this one turned as 180 as it did blows my mind. Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to go get a drink, take a break, come back, and we're going to wrap this one up. Tell him, Captain Picard.
Make it so.
So, in the end, against all the odds, it was a victory for Lord Tremendous. My opponent surrendered in top of turn 4. I ended up losing a unit of trappers, my small unit of tribesmen, my mercenary veterans, and Rufus. But man, all of them died well and for solid causes. I can't complain. I still don't have a clue how I actually pulled this one off. It seemed to be going completely downhill. I was 100% certain I lost this game. I was just trying to make it a good loss, you know what I mean? And then my Bruiser Scratapult combo flank charge into his general's unit saved my ass. If it hadn't have been also for the fact that my trappers had trapped the trees and he had failed so many dangerous terrain checks with his unit, then that unit still would have probably been fine, turned, and then slaughtered both of those units. So it was the stars aligning in the most brutal fashion, but this game had everything. It was phenomenal. And I'm not saying that just because I was able to win in the end, although that was pretty cool. It really was an amazing friggin' game. Just the trapped forests and stuff like that with the Vampire Knights, that was probably the keystone in this one. That was insane. My trappers, my 40-point units of trappers made this entire win possible, and I got to give it to them. My mercenary veterans, I think it's my fault. I definitely know it's my fault, but they keep getting stomped. I keep putting them in situations where they're gonna lose, and it's happened a lot. I still love the unit. I don't believe there's anything wrong with the unit or my kit or anything like that. I think I'm just misusing them. I think it's borderline abuse, and I'm thinking about reporting myself to the higher OgreCon authorities. So in future games, I'm going to try to use them smarter so that they actually survive to the victory party. We'll see, though. The Combustor, my new shaman, I'm very pleased with him. Had it not been for him, I would have had zero answer for the unit of Phantom Hosts. I didn't have anything with magical attacks in my army that could have gone. I didn't get Flaming Swords. So, yeah, Fireball and Skull Splitter were the only answers I had, and what beautiful answers to that devastating unit. So his kit out and the way he works, he's super undefended, but he's just supposed to be a lightning rod, and in this game it really paid off. But you know, it didn't all go my way. Like I said, when his guy got in there and lost 4 of his knights in the forest, I thought, cool, I've got that unit. And then the Blade of Red Thirst, I got a lesson on that thing. And I gotta be honest, at first I thought it was broken, but like I said, if you used it, if we used it correctly, and I'm pretty sure we did, it's only really effective in big elite units like that. So actually, I'm perfectly fine with it. I think it's, after second thought, it's pretty balanced. Undead Knights are supposed to be terrifying, and they are now. That was something that we didn't see in 8th edition, and I'm thrilled that we're seeing it now. It needed to happen, and I'm very proud of the 9th Age developers of the VC, of the Vampire Coven unit, or Army book anyway, for doing that, for making Undead Cav a force to be reckoned with. I'm very pleased. And the Blade of Red Thirst on your general like that is a beautiful way of not only making them even more terrifying, but survivable, sustainable, and it's a super combo. I like it. I don't think it should be changed. But of course, as always, this was a fantastic game. You just saw it. You just heard me talk about it. You know it was a fantastic game. I have a great opponent, kept a positive, solid attitude the whole time. Both when it was going his way and when it turned on him. And I can't ask for anything better than that. Just a phenomenal guy I love to play against. And I am absolutely just giddy about our next match because I can't wait to see what he throws at me. But yeah, guys, that's it for this battle report. Number 11 is officially over, done, and into history books. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did because this was a great one. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.